555 Jacksonville.
This offseason has just been to finish and to build that toughness and grit, and that happens in training camp.
Travis Etienne fakes the handoff, runs it to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Travis Etienne out of the Wildcat.
Now, going into my year 3, it's about me putting all the pieces together from my year 1 to year 2, and now I feel like I'm able to just go out there and play ball.
He's going to get in. He's going to get sacked back at the 20-yard line. Trayvon Walker made the sack.
I can make every play on the field. You know, that's the position that I'm put in at all times, and, you know, learn the capabilities that I can and will do it. Stop the run, be able to rush the passer, just, you know, execute your technique, man. If I can do that well, I can dominate.
He scrambles away. He's going to get hit. He's going to get sacked. Josh Allen got him inside the 40-yard line. He couldn't spin away that time. Play by Josh Allen.
I never like to say too much before the year starts because it's a long year and you got to earn it every week. But I will say this is definitely the most talented team that I've been a part of since I've been here. No question about that. And I think the leadership is as good or better than I've ever seen it.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
Oh, day 2 of the new open, and we'll see if they can't give something to inspire Dylan this weekend on Saturday with the Chiefs coming to town for a new open potentially on Monday. But as we discussed on the show yesterday, Dempsey, we got to have a reason for a new open on Monday. We'll see if they give us one.
Yeah, I'll settle for everyone's healthy. Right? I mean, I really will.
Yeah.
I mean, that, first and foremost, man, we kid and we want the first team to look good against Kansas City's first team.
Absolutely.
That's a measuring stick for you, and it's just another, mile post on the road to getting ready for the Miami Dolphins, and we're just about 4 weeks away from that. And I think, probably those joint practices will be even more telling because you'll get more reps with the ones against Tampa Bay Bucks next week, Tone. But I just hate to see Deshaun Dixon go down, torn ACL. And we say this, it seems like about everybody, having a really good camp, right? I mean, there's talk out there that he would have been in that 2 deep as an edge rusher for this team this year. That is the kind of performance he had. So torn ACL, it was one of those, they kind of shut it down. They knew, at the time it happened. But it stinks. And I did see Anton Harrison in a non-contact jersey, but that is a step in the right direction. He's obviously not going to play this weekend.
Yeah, they have the list of players that aren't going to be playing this weekend. Obviously, Anton Harrison, who was out there in the non-contact jersey at practice. Deshaun Dixon not going to give it a go this weekend either. Ezra Cleveland has been ruled out for Saturday, so 2 of the 5 starting offensive linemen for the Jags not playing.
So how do you feel about their ability to protect Trevor Lawrence here in this first game?
I'm comfortable with as short a window as he'll be expected to play this week.
Yeah, I am too.
You
got to play at time. You get to the regular season, man, you might be in worse shape on the offensive line. What are you going to do? Say, this is a Mac Jones game? No.
Yeah.
I get it. This game doesn't matter.
It makes sense from the perspective of get Trevor and Brian Thomas Jr. some kind of live reps before week 3 of the preseason. Right? It makes sense given how short the window is for all those guys to play this week. I get it. 2 of the 5 offensive linemen are out. Maybe you call it a little bit differently to protect that.
And they mentioned that they can do that. Press Taylor will be calling that from the sideline now instead of up in the booth. So
yes, he will.
I guess this is the next step in the evolution of we're going to see if Press is the guy, right? Like, we haven't seen him do it for a season on the sideline. And, Doug Peterson mentioned this morning that feels like you're kind of more in tune with what's going on. Yeah. I do think it helps to be able to look in your quarterback's eyes and speak to him face-to-face and say, what are you seeing out there? What are you going through? I know you can do it on the headset to some degree, but so you got that. And I think, Walker Little playing the right side is what I would imagine they would open up with. And then either Blake Hance, Tyler Shatley, probably at left guard. And like you said, you can kind of, you can roll the pocket right a little bit if you need to.
You can call it the way you want to call it for the 10 or 11 plays you want to get the offense.
In shotgun, get the ball out of his hands quickly, try to get a little rhythm going, whatever the case may be.
Sure. Stephen Jones, Keelan Robinson, which is a bummer. Darnell Savage, who's being held out as a precaution, according to Coach, this morning, but he won't go on Saturday. Andrew Wingard, no surprise that he's not going to be able to go. Jordan Jefferson, Eric Armstead, the other players for the Jags that aren't going to play on Saturday.
Yeah, Jefferson's a bummer. All right, we want to see Big Hungry out there. Did I just come up with a nickname right there? Big Hungry. He's
You assigned a nickname.
He's a wide load, man, is what he is. And, I mean, that's not an insult. You want to be a wide load if you're playing nose tackle in the National Football League. But, he's an intriguing player. But I feel like right now, that's not a spot I'm that worried about, right? I like to see him force his way up in the rotation, but we're feeling great about Devon Hamilton. We've got other options in there. I think Mason Smith can play that. I think he can play either of those spots inside if called upon. Roy Robertson, Harris, different options, and they want to mix and match a little bit, so that'll be fun to see as well.
Yeah, Keelan is, as I said, a bit of a bummer that he's not going to be able to go this week because you would expect that would have been able to play quite a bit.
He's got some juice too, man.
Yeah. And it had been talked about here, really heating up this week. What is exactly his role in the depth chart for the Jags going into the season? I know, we talked about the depth chart they released yesterday. They had Tank Bigsby as the second kick returner on the team. He did a little bit of that last year, by the way. He did do a little bit of the kick return thing for the team last year, just, I think, to give him something to do, and see if it was going to be anything. And it was, with him as a kick returner. But they didn't list Keelan as the second kick returner, which is what we all would expect it to wind up being for this team. Well, now it's 1 week of the preseason of the 3 games they're going to play that we know we're not going to see Keelan in any kind of role for him. And how much would his offensive role potentially expand, given how explosive a player he seems to be?
Well, a guy like him, though, should have plenty of opportunities in those last 2 games.
You would think.
Right? And certainly in Game 2, if he's ready to go against the Bucs, they can play him as much as they want. He can get some offensive touches. He can work maybe as the primary return guy in that game. And then, you're probably going to have a quarter and a half or a couple of quarters of football in week 3 as well. So the important thing is to make sure he's ready to go, obviously for week 1. But sure, you want to see a rookie there's, like you said, Tone, only so many opportunities to impress.
Yeah.
And we know who the frontline guys are. And really this week it's shake the rust off, have a little performance, stay healthy, what have you. Your place is pretty secure, all right? It's these other guys that are fighting for – and not that Keelan Robinson's fighting for a roster spot. I think he's pretty safe in that regard when 2 of the 3 coordinators, the ones that you're going to be working with, both rave about what you're bringing to the table. You're pretty safe, it seems like. But still, you want to see him have the opportunity to show that in a game-type situation.
Yeah, he might have been one of the 3 I picked for an answer to the question we're asking this morning, honestly. The Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Which 3 Jaguars players are you most looking forward to watching on Saturday night against the Chiefs? Before the news came out this morning with the Keelan thing, he was at least on my short list of guys that I would be considering for my list of 3 players that I was most looking forward to watching. So send us your answers to who you are looking forward to. Obviously, tomorrow we got a game day coming up on Saturday. So we got game day this weekend. We'll talk about keys for Saturday to some degree.
That won't be your official question of the day tomorrow, right? We're not so concerned with the outcome.
It's not direct.
No, right? Like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to stunt on this and whatnot.
Ours begun.
Yes, it has begun right now, but not going to be that crazy. Have the White Sox won a game, by the way?
They won yesterday.
They did? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to them. Nelly Korda making a move up the leaderboard for the women's golf at the Olympics. USA. I believe she's a defending gold medalist, but 5 under on the day, puts her 5 under through almost 2 full rounds, 3 off the lead right now. So go USA, baby.
Trevor Lawrence will speak after practice this morning.
Yes, he will.
We'll see if we get to any of that before the show is done. We'll get to Mike DiRocco whenever Trevor Lawrence gets done speaking.
Yeah, if timing works out. D-Rock's on standby to give us his final thoughts. And I gave him a little forewarning about things to look for in Saturday's game, in either players or just situations that you're going to be honing in on a little bit. By the way, Tony mentioned, you can hit us up with your 3 players that you're most intrigued by watching this weekend. Do that in any number of capacities on the Garber Automall phone lines at 641-1010. Same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Get in that YouTube virtual studio chat and do it that way, or hit us up on the X or Twitter platform at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Have we greeted you this morning, Mr. Denmark?
I think it's a no.
All right. looked at Tony. Tony's got the teal on. If you're watching on YouTube, you know this already. I've got the teal on today. It worked out that way. And Dylan goes, yeah, I'm wearing purple. Go FedEx.
Old work shirt.
Is that a work shirt? Is that what that was?
That's what it is.
So what did you do? You work in the the warehouse? Or
Forklift operator.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
5 years, homeboy.
How old were you when you started driving the forklift?
18.
Okay.
Freshman year of college.
They'll throw you right in there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing they don't let 17-year-olds drive the forklift.
No, you have to be 18, at least at that job.
That's pretty good. That's semi-responsible for you,
man. A forklift is pretty fun. Do some donuts, especially when it's wet. But you can't do it on the dock because you do it on the dock and then you lose control. You go off the dock.
You go in the water.
And then the dock is raised about 5.5 feet above the ground, so it's not. You don't want to.
So you can get pinned under the forklift and drown or get crushed.
Yeah,
any of those.
That's why I wear a seatbelt.
You ever see those videos, Tone, of people working in warehouses where they're messing around and they hit something and all of a sudden an entire wall of goods comes down? Was that ever you?
No. We don't got that.
Okay.
We didn't have that. All our freight was on the floor.
On the ground. You didn't have that because they didn't stack it that way.
Yeah,
I got it.
No.
All right. I thought you were going to tell me you were pinpoint ace forklift driver.
That sounds probably why they let him drive when he was 17.
Probably so, right? Right. No, it's all on the ground. How much damage can he really?
Yeah, no stacking,
really do? Please. All right. The forklift operator is probably the correct parlance.
None of that. We'll hear from Doug Peterson, who spoke before training camp practice this morning as well. That's why we have all the information about who's not playing.
Yes.
And who's going to be calling plays and all those different things. Obviously, Doug spoke about that before practice this morning. Again, we'll try to get some whatever Trevor has to say after practice today and on the show as well. Hayes caught up with Devin Duvernay. After practice, we may get to a little bit of Hayes talking with Devon Hamilton, which we didn't get to yesterday. Mia talked to Mac Jones. Hacker caught up with Terrell Edmonds. Again, we'll get to as much of that as we can. If you can't catch it here, you can catch it on YouTube. We put all that stuff up there.
YouTube, all the social media channels. Devin Duvernay's an interesting guy based on the role he's going to have, right? I mean, all-pro return guy. All-pro.
Yeah.
Best in the league return guy. And he's certainly going to work in that capacity. But, Tone, right now, every indication is he's the fourth receiver on this team as well. And, he is a guy who's been a receiver, unlike Jamal Agnew, who switched to receiver.
Duvernay was pretty good a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I think with Agnew, it wasn't 100% of the time, but it was like a tell when he was on the field. Agnew's getting the ball, right? I don't think that is going to be the same tip-off when you're in four wide with Devin Duvernay, or if he's on the field in three wide receiver sets occasionally. But he could be a very important player for this team this year. We don't talk a ton about him.
No. And look, we'll see exactly how much of a role they see the fourth wide receiver in this offense having. They had an idea for Jamal Agnew the whole time. I don't know why it wouldn't be at least similar with a guy like Duvernay going into this year. And he's been, as you said, the more accomplished wide receiver of those two guys. At least when he arrived here in Jacksonville, Agnew grew as a wide receiver the whole time that he was here. We'll see what they want to do with Duvernay, and we'll hear what he had to say to Hayes as we go through the show this morning. Coming back, though, we will hear from head coach Doug Peterson as we get things rolling here on a Thursday. The Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day: which three Jags players are you most looking forward to watching on Saturday night against the Chiefs? We'll give our answers to that as well. We may even be able to split it up, offense, defense, however we want to do it.
So 6, you're saying?
We might have to come up with
6 players worth watching this week. I'm kidding. There'll be plenty worth watching. I think that's a good idea, though.
Yeah, you host the pregame show. You might have to come up with
I might have to talk about a few of these guys. It'd be crazy. The pregame show is like, it's a brave new world this year because we're doing JP, Brian Sexton, myself doing it out of the Miller Electric Center.
Yes.
Where you guys are going to be back in the radio studio. It's going to be a new dynamic. I spent a good bit of my morning discussing logistics with JP Shadrick. So keep your fingers crossed for your boy. That I can get through the security code, panels, and B, I don't blow this thing up because in the preseason, JP's already informed me he's got to go do some in-stadium work during the pregame show. So I'm going to be like man on an island in a brand new setup hoping I'm going. It's one of those. Am I on the air? Mm-hmm. Am I in the air?
I'll let you know because I'll be here at the radio station.
You'll text me.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll make sure we're over there on 10.
Swing by on the forklift and pick me up if I need to get over to the radio studio.
All right, bet that up.
Thank you.
Doug Peterson, when we get back here, as we get it rolling here on a Thursday edition of Jaguars Today. Tony Smith, Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you on 1010 XL.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update. Brought to you by USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Just getting underway, the U.S. women's volleyball team is playing for a chance at gold as it squares off against Brazil in the semifinals. It's a rematch of the gold medal final in Tokyo exactly 3 years ago today that the U.S. won 3-0. In the pool, the three-time defending champion U.S. women's water polo team will be taking on Australia in the semifinals as the two countries battle it out for a spot in the gold medal match. Team USA is looking to make history by becoming the first water polo team in history, men's or women's, to win 4 straight Olympic golds. The U.S. men's basketball team continues its quest for a 5th straight gold medal when it tips off against 3-time NBA MVP Nikola Jokic in Serbia in the semifinals later today. Team USA beat Serbia by 26 in the first game of group play. With this Summer Games update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae, all full-sized, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ, happy tastes good.
Now, the Florida State Seminole Report, brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team.
Florida State men's basketball will face Rice in the Battleground 2K Hoops doubleheader at the Toyota Center in Houston on November 9th, as announced by United Sports and Entertainment. The Seminoles will face the Owls in the first game of the doubleheader, which also features Houston going toe-to-toe against Auburn in the second game of the one-day event. I'm RJ Saunders with your Ag Pro Seminole Report.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
It's kind of like his own private locker, and you're his guest.
Every time we talk, I'm reinvigorated by my love of the game.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Hayes Blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O. If you want high-quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterboyJAX.com.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
If you're an experienced, skilled plumber or welder that's MedGas certified and you're tired of working for a company that just doesn't treat you right, Local 234 is the place for you. Their pay is the best in the business. You'll walk away with $35.09 an hour in your pocket. With benefits, that's just over $50 an hour. Local 234 has been around since 1901, and that means something. Visit UA234.com to send your resume. Local 234. Make the right connection.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Have a group trip or company function soon? Mark Watson here with Hardball Creative. Get busy ordering the t-shirts and other swag you'll need. It's easy with Hardball.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators. People need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house.
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
For preseason, press will do it for preseason, yeah.
And it's still up in the air as for Dolphins?
Yes.
That's Dougie P right there. He doesn't really want to discuss it, I don't think, Tony. That's the sense I get. Play calling. Yes, press will call plays in the preseason. But as you heard, Hayes Carline follow-up still up in the air for Miami. Semi-serious question for you here, right? Because wouldn't you like to see the Jags go on an 8-play touchdown drive, very decisive, move the ball down the field, stick it in the end zone, Trevor Lawrence, call it a day. Fantastic. Great start. But if you're hoping Doug Peterson calls the play, is there a part of you that goes, maybe we look a little disjointed? It's only you know what I mean? Like, you want him to call the plays. Well, I mean, I'm rooting for the Jags to have success, whomever calls the plays. I think most people are, and they want Doug to call the plays because they think he'll be better at it than Press Taylor. And we don't know because, like we've pointed out many times, the second half of 2022, as they pointed out, we probably wouldn't have known until they brought it up. But Press Taylor did a lot of that work in the second half of games. It's been a kind of a ladder he's been climbing.
I'm glad that we've only talked about it as much as we have, right, on the show to this point in this offseason. It's not that we've never talked about it. When it gets brought up, we mention here's the latest thing that's being said about who's going to be calling plays. And look, we've both said, and I would prefer for Doug Peterson to become the play caller, but that preference is not so strong that it matters all that much to me. Who's calling the plays for him? I would prefer for Doug Peterson to be the one calling the plays, but I'm not bothered by Press Taylor being the play caller for the team because of how successful they were in the back half of those games in 2022. All the restrictions they had with the injuries on the offensive line and at the skill spots, the things they were dealing with, especially that back half of the season last year, that's a lot for a play caller to have to deal with. So I'm not upset if the ultimate outcome of this thing is Press Taylor's the play caller again this year. I'd be like, okay.
And I think if you watch the second episode of The Hunt, right, there was a lot focusing in on Press Taylor and his, deep knowledge of this offense and what he wants this offense to look like and all the permutations that come off of it. I think it was maybe Gabe Davis we just heard a few days ago kind of talking about that Press has got that mind that's always thinking. And look, again, on the one hand, if you're Doug Peterson, you feel that Press Taylor is up to the job, and this is much ado about nothing, although it's still, he's the one that allows it to hang out there because he hasn't made a definitive decision on it, and that's fine. It's not the end of the world topic. We don't need to really have it solved yet, but going into Miami, you got to have that plan. At least if it does start with Press Taylor and it's a little clunky, you've got that final move you can make.
Yes.
If you start with Doug Peterson, there's let's flip it back to Press Taylor and see if we get better results. It's almost like, I'd be surprised if Press is not the play caller, and it'll be it's not going to be like Doug Peterson's going to get up there in that week ahead of the Miami game go, okay, guys, big announcement. He'll get asked about it, and they'll be like, Press is going to call plays.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing caught everyone so off guard week one last year. And it was as they were going on the field basically last year, week one, that we found out that it was Press that was even going to be calling the plays for the team. And so everyone was kind of caught off guard. And then the antenna goes up for, well, let me see how screwed up Press is. Right? Like, that's kind of the reaction.
I don't think that's unfair.
It's the way people react to that kind of thing. I get it.
We consume the NFL tone. And I'm not teaching you anything here, but, we want to know everything about our favorite teams, the teams we root for. And this is not like in the weed stuff. Who's calling offensive plays seems like a pretty big component of your offensive success and game plan. So,
and as we've talked about every time we brought it up, I've said this, I think Doug Peterson is a really good play caller, and I'd be more comfortable if he was the guy who would just take it.
Me as well.
Right? And I think that's part of the reason you hire him as your head coach is because he's that good of a play caller as well. He's that good coordinating an offense as well as being the guy running the show for your entire team. I think he's good enough for that job. He's won a Super Bowl doing it that way. I'd be comfortable with him retaking that position. He is comfortable giving that responsibility to Press Taylor.
Yeah, and I don't think Doug Peterson's a stupid person. No. Right? I don't think he's just like looking at Press Taylor going, you're really not up for the job, but you're my guy and I'm going to throw you this bone. Like, he wants to win, right? Yeah. And I think there's a certain element, for me at least, I trust Doug Peterson. He has proven to be able to put together a championship winning formula in the past. And if you're going to trust him, for whatever reason, he did it this way in Philadelphia, but maybe he's grown as a coach and he sees that it's better for me to not be honed in just on one side of the ball. Although it seems like Ryan Nielsen's presence really, the competency level on that side.
Right.
And I'm not trying to take a shot at Mike Caldwell. It just seems like everyone you listen to, every defensive player feels like Ryan Nielsen has taken this thing up several levels this year. So if you can almost hand that off and not have to worry about that, and there are plenty of coaches out there that really focus on one side of the ball more than the other, and they delegate, and that's part of the job too.
Sure, and recognizing that even in 2023 when Press was given the reins as the play caller, Doug is obviously very involved in the game planning leading up to whatever game they're playing that week. And he still has a headset where he can let everyone know what he's thinking, what he wants to see happen in the moment. Like, he still has the ultimate authority on those things if he wants it. So his voice is still being heard on game day with the plays that they're calling on offense. It's not like he's completely removed from the situation. It might not be as hands-on as some fans would like to see it be with Doug as the head coach, but it's not that he's way away from whatever's happening with the Jaguars offense.
All right, we're not far away from hearing the rest of what Doug Peterson had to say, his message to the young players, what he's looking for. What does he want to see out of his team versus Kansas City? He spoke about that this morning, and we'll get into that audio coming up on the other side. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with Mike DiRocco covering the Jags, obviously, for ESPN. We're 2 weeks out. These guys. Ozier asked us this question. D-Rock asked me this morning, he goes, do I get a spot in one of the Jaguars Today fantasy leagues? Bro, you can be in all the Jaguars Today fantasy leagues, but I didn't win last year. I said, at least you're paying attention to the rules, okay? There's a certain level of, Tony and I don't win every year. We're in the leagues, right? Yeah. So, yes, D-Rock, you'll be in there. But the Breakfast Bowl will be back before you know it. And we got Garrard coming in next week. Log him in. It's going to be fun. We got a lot to get to. All right, Jags on the field this weekend. We'll hear what Doug Peterson had to say about the preseason opener when we return on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Hope your day is off to a great start. You know what? Dandy can change your mood. It can pick you up. You know, sometimes you're a little off because you didn't have a good breakfast. You're a little bit hungry. You're wondering, man, am I going to make it through the rest of the day? Well, Dandy can get you through the rest of the day with a variety of options that are going to fill you up but not weigh you down. Go to any gate station in Jacksonville. Head to the fresh case and look for the Dandy label, D-A-N-D-E-E, or the Anytime Deli label. It's all the same company, started by a local family nearly 70 years ago. The Thompsons, great supporters of the local sports scene here in Jacksonville, and great supporters of your appetite, man. They've got so many different things, from protein packs to gourmet salads to the full line of sandwiches and subs. If you need a little pick-me-up, you're just hungry throughout the day, you know that Dandy's got your back with the highest quality food possible at a great price. When you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Jaguars Today Thursday is brought to you by
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Get your golf weekend started early during Brunch with the Tour.
Here it comes.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation.
Fantastic chef there.
Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. Tuesday morning at 8:30 on 1010XL.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to American-Electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, MLSconsumeraccess.org.
When the sun goes down, you might think a golf course shuts down, but not at the Golf Club of Southampton. Join the gang every Thursday night for trivia with Brooke and Jason, and everybody's favorite night, Friday night on the patio, featuring local musicians, food, and drink. It's all at the Golf Club of Southampton. Great golf. You've come to expect that. But don't forget, when night falls, the fun doesn't stop. Trivia every Thursday night and Southampton's live music patio session Fridays. Call 287-PLAY to make a tee time and the good time.
Meet Abiana, talking about her experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I started doing the BioTarget therapy for plantar fasciitis, and I noticed an improvement immediately. It was almost impossible for me to put my feet down to take a proper step. After the first treatment, I was able to actually walk and do so without limping. I kind of felt like because they were offering a money-back guarantee, it made me feel like they're sure the treatment would definitely work. I would definitely recommend this treatment to anybody that I know because it works.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, fall and winter registration is open. Find out what I-9 Sports offers across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jags are gearing up for their first preseason game this Saturday. Heading into it, Coach Doug Peterson shared why he feels it's important to play starters in the preseason.
That's just how I've treated it. I know that's how coaches treated it, you know. I think it's important that these guys play, especially early, you know. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot, you know, a long time, but you want them to get out there and knock that rust off, you know, get that game feel, play against starters, and go execute. And like I said, it's not long, but it's good for those guys to get out there and do that.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Chiefs this Sunday. Let them do the driving. With multiple locations around town and passes starting at just $10 on the My JTA app. To learn more, visit JTAFLA.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Really just tell them to enjoy it, absorb, you know, take in everything. obviously first time for all these guys to play, in an NFL football game, and it's exciting for them. But at the same time, I want them to, go out and play well, calm their minds, but at the same time have fun, enjoy it.
Just do all these things, Rooks. Right? Just enjoy it. Play free. And look, man, some of these guys are like, I'll enjoy it when the Turk doesn't come knocking on my door, right? I mean, some of these guys, Tony, it's, are obviously locked in. Others are rookies who know that they're going to be a part of the future of this team. Others probably have a good feeling that they're going to be on the practice squad for this year, whatever at this point. But it's those guys, that last 5 spots, whatever, that could go either way with a number of different options. And Doug Peterson was asked, what is this message to the young guys? So enjoy it, but perform, right? That's number one. You'll enjoy it if you perform well. I get it. Soak it in. Like Mac Jones talking with Mia yesterday, this is the first time since high school he's going to play in his hometown stadium. That's kind of fun. We'll hear about this later, but Doug mentioned C.J. Beathard will be the backup this week. Mac Jones is third. I think this is done purposely in my mind, Tone. C.J. Beathard can come in, fine. He give the veteran the respect of being the first man up. But what's going to happen next week is you're not going to play your starter, so my guess is Mac Jones is going to start that one. It'll be his turn to be the, quote, 2, which will really be the 1 for that week, and then he'll play the majority of the first half, if not into the second. Yeah,
look, a lot of guys have different paths to playing, right, in the NFL. That's part of the reason why the Deshaun Dixon thing is such a, that stinks, right? Because
Absolutely.
The way they were talking about him this year after spending all last year on the practice squad for the football team and learning and being much better in this year's training camp than he was in last year's training camp. By all accounts, he improved after a year on the Jaguars practice squad, and they certainly seem to have some kind of role in mind for him going into 2024. How big or small that role would have been, it's unclear. At this point, because it's pretty unclear how big or small most of the guys on defense's roles are going to be in all these different spots at this point in time, with a couple of notable exceptions. We know with a few of those guys, but a bunch of the guys, it's pretty wide open how much they're going to get an opportunity to play. Dixon was a guy that felt like he was carving out some kind of role for himself, and now it's gone. And there's going to be a bunch of young guys on the field on Saturday night that are trying to earn an opportunity to get somebody's attention.
I want to be in the rotation. I want to be a guy that you feel like you can count on game day. Even if
the plan isn't until 25,
right?
That it happens for you. But that's what was going on for Dixon, and now it's not happening.
Well, show you can contribute on special teams.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to do that if you're a young player. And making the team, but if you want to be active on game day. Just before we get into this rest of this, Doug, to the meat of what he had to say today, this couple from Mia O'Brien out at practice this morning. Trevor Lawrence, this is about 35 minutes ago. Trevor Lawrence connects with Brian Thomas Jr. downfield with Darby in coverage. Second connection of the day.
More of that,
duo.
please.
Right. During team periods, Tyson Campbell pass breakup of Lawrence downfield on the next rep, going deep to Elijah Cooks. Then a follow-up. I guess we mentioned Mac Jones' name, and, I'm the jinx. Pass intended for Joshua Cephas, tipped and picked by Tavon Campbell. But he goes right back to Cephas on the next rep. So, and I know they're trying to get reps with everybody, but you naturally, further you are down the depth chart, the more you're going to work with that second and third quarterback and get that comfort level going. All right, let's jump into Doug Peterson speaking before practice this morning, the final practice before the Kansas City Chiefs come knocking on the door on Saturday is the norm now. Does Doug Peterson feel in this first preseason game, seeing that there are only 3, does he feel like the norm around the league is to play the starters for a quarter?
I don't know. I that's just how I've treated it. I know that's how coaches treated it. I think it's important that these guys play. And especially early. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot or a long time, but you want them to get out there and knock that rust off. Get that game feel. Play against starters and go execute. And like I said, it's not long, but. It's good for those guys to get out there and do that.
We were talking about on the sideline this morning, me and Hack and a few folks out there about, like Bryce Young is not going to play this weekend. And Hack's point is like, what are you doing? Got a young quarterback who didn't exactly light the world on fire. And I kind of agree with that point, but there are different circumstances. Like Kyler Murray is not hurt. He's not going to play.
Nope.
Kirk
at
Cousins,
all in the preseason.
Neither is Kirk Cousins, and I get that one coming off the Achilles tear. I'm actually kind of intrigued to see Michael Penix get out there and throw
let him play
with some of those guys. But, the Bryce Young thing, just a quick aside on the Panthers. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. There was a one-on-one pass rush drill. Ike Ekwonu playing left tackle. Might have been a Jag at one point, right? We went through that whole draft cycle. Going up against everyone's favorite beach producer, Caleb Von Chason, right? Beach trainer.
Gator arm.
And apparently the rep was deemed to be so bad by both, like Ekwonu slow getting out of his break. Caleb Von gives you that jump move that he always gives you.
Yeah.
And they captioned it something like styrofoam sharpening styrofoam. That's cool.
Oh,
That's where we're at, though.
That is fun.
They'll learn.
Is what that is. Coach had the opportunity to go on with Rich Eisen a couple days ago, and when he was talking about Josh Hines-Allen, one of the players he compared him to was about as high a comparison as a player playing that position can possibly get, and that's Reggie White, who obviously Coach Peterson was around during his time up there in Green Bay, and he was asked this morning why he compared Josh Hines-Allen to Reggie White from a preparation standpoint.
Both attention to detail, both how they worked before and after practice, how they led their teammates. It meant a lot to Reggie. It means a lot to Josh, and those were a lot of the same similarities that I saw or I have seen in Josh. I'm not comparing them, physically and all that. I'm just talking about some of the intangibles, that sometimes people don't see, but they both are instrumental as far as leadership roles go. Those are things that I saw in Reggie and I see in Josh. You want to aspire to be like that, and you got to have these types of role models and people that you look up to and pattern their career after and things like that. And I think that's something that Josh aspires to do.
What if Josh Allen just goes thermonuclear on it, right? Like joins the truly elite level, that 20 sack level. You know what I mean?
And he's a talented enough player to do it.
It was only 2.5 off it last year. Yeah. It's not that big of a stretch. I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm not even coming close to predict that. But, it's not uncommon these days for the elite guys to live in that territory. Man, could you imagine what that could do for this team? All right, let's boil it down. Doug Peterson, what do you want to see out of your team versus Kansas City this week?
Yeah, and obviously I'm not gauging it based off of that, but at the same time, I want to see execution. I want to see, guys playing hard and fast and just doing what we've done for the first 2 weeks of camp, and I think in preseason, the outcome, everybody wants to win the games, right? I mean, that's the bottom line, but I think it's more still evaluating your roster, especially when you get past your, so-called starters but with the first group going against another first group, you want to see execution, very, very few mistakes, MAs, because you're running your training camp plays, and so things can be some, and again, you're not game planning anybody, so just going out and doing your job.
MAs, missed assignments.
You're calling the plays you've called all camp against the team that's calling their plays that they've called all camp.
Pretty much, right? But as long as the missed assignment doesn't come on our quarterback's blind side, right? like Brian Thomas runs the wrong route, Gabe Davis, does whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Slap the helmet when they come to the sideline.
Live to play another day.
That kind of thing. It's a learning experience from that perspective. The quarterback getting unnecessarily hit is a finable offense.
Yes.
Right? For the football
At the very
team
least.
Going into Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, new kickoff rules will be in effect for the Jacksonville Jaguars for the first time on the field. We probably won't see what the actual plan is for the team in that regard until they get to Miami here in a few weeks. But Coach was asked this morning about the new kickoff element coming up on Saturday.
Well, we're going to put it down on the tee and kick it into the box and see what happens. But I think this is going to be obviously a big weekend. There's going to be a lot of tape after this weekend to dive through. But I still don't think a lot of teams are going to show what they're going to do schematically. and even some teams don't even put their starting returners back there, in preseason for risk of injury and stuff like that. So, but it'll give you an idea of maybe how to prepare, how to plan, and what to look forward to.
Yeah, I think that for the basics, I think he's absolutely right. Kick it in the box. Let's at least let's simulate as much as we can. Do we have a decent coverage plan? And see how it all works out. Cam Little's a guy I'm interested in seeing. I hope he gets some game pressure type situations, like an end of a half kind of kick or something in the 50-plus yard range. It'd be great if he had a game-winning attempt. There's not a whole lot of ways you can put pressure on the kicker, I feel, in preseason, but I hope he gets a little bit of it this week. All right, so Doug Peterson just asked about is he pleased basically with the overall depth that they have on the roster now?
Yeah, I think the depth is good. One of the things that we've, as coaching staff, focused on, and I think in camp this year is getting those young guys, those depth guys, more opportunity in practice to see what they can do. And again, these games are important for that. But I think the depth has been good. Offensive and defensive lines. There's depth there. When we're healthy and at full strength, there's depth there. Young guys in the secondary have really impressed and improved. Even some of the young receivers. So it makes it and it's exactly what you want as a coach, to make it hard at the end of camp, right? With these depth guys that are pushing and challenging for jobs, it makes it harder on us to make tough decisions.
Look, we mentioned it when it happened, but Adam Gotsis has been a big part of the rotation on the defensive front in the last couple of years. To let him go this early in camp, right? We feel pretty good about the options that we have up front. He's not going to be a part of it. We're looking to pick up Adrian Amos, whomever, bring in some depth in some other spots. And the fact that they're comfortable letting a guy like Gotsis go this early tells you the overall quality of the roster is improving.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a guarantee that they're going to win more than 9 games this year or that they're going to win 9 games. But, you want to go in with the best raw material you can possibly have.
Yeah, and I think, we've talked about the last couple of days on the show as well. I asked Johnny O about it yesterday, right? Why aren't we talking about players that aren't living up to it at this point in camp? Because we usually are. And I think that speaks to why. The roster's better, right? And there's not a whole lot of guys. Typically, we go into a season saying they have got to get this out of this. And then you get a couple weeks into camp, you're like, oh, no. What is happening with this? We had that a little bit last year with Caleb Von Chason. Not that the expectations were high, but he was expected to be the third guy on that list. And they were getting nothing out of him. At any point.
No.
Right? And so it was something that was being talked about every now and then. The Jags, for whatever reason, even the guys in that kind of position in camp this year are performing at or above whatever the level of expectation was for those players going into camp. It speaks to the depth they currently have on this roster.
All right, Tone, let's step aside. When we come back, you'll take us around the league, get us the pertinent knowledge we need to know what's happening with the other 31 clubs in the NFL. We've got a smattering of player audio that we'll bring you as well. Hoping to catch up with Mike DeRocco of ESPN if the timing works out. And I think it will. We'll see how it all goes. But that's about 30 minutes away from now. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You have heard about the 1010XL YouTube channel. Now check out our team-specific channels, 1010XL Jaguars, 1010XL Gators, and 1010XL Seminoles, bringing up specific, up-to-the-minute video coverage of your favorite local team. And find us on YouTube today. You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer. The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheap or discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary. That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool. They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that's been chosen as the exclusive pest control provider for the brand new state-of-the-art Miller Electric Performance Center. As a Kingfish customer myself, I know their effectiveness in keeping spiders, roaches, bugs, and termites out. When I trust them for my family and the Jags trust them for their business, then you can too. For the best service in town, call my friends at Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I insist on complete honesty.
You can chime in anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Share your opinion.
Are you nuts? What?
641-1010.
That's crazy.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks.
Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up.
So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater irrigation and drainage too.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by JEA. Down in the swamp, Florida Gators top running back Montrell Johnson Jr., who underwent minor knee surgery last week, is officially listed week to week by head coach Billy Napier. Napier spoke with media yesterday on the status of Montrell.
Montrell's doing great. First of all, it was very minor. Once they got in there, it's the scope. He's week to week, right? He's already on his feet. He's made significant progress. So it will be 1 week at a time. We're going to go at his pace, but we do anticipate it being a very minor issue. When we get him back, it's to be determined. I think he's in a good place relative to maybe other situations like that have been out there in the past.
It's 88 degrees at 10:58. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I feel great, I feel 100% healthy, feel 100% myself, and I'm just excited to get out there this season and really show what I can do again, man.
We're excited for you, Devon Hamilton, so remain that way in the healthy and in the locked and upright position. As far as that goes, show us why they gave you that contract extension last offseason. And it's not his fault. He got hurt, but we're all hoping, and based on the returns we've heard out of camp, Tony, pretty good chance he's going to do that this year. As Hayes Carline spoke with Devon Hamilton, we're going to hear from Devon, and we'll hear a little bit from Devin Duvernay. We'll take you around the league. So let's get into it here. What has Devon Hamilton been focusing on for himself so far in training camp?
I'm very happy with what I'm doing, but I got to get so much better, This is a league where you just got to keep on improving. I'm not away from that at all. So things I just need to work on still, just, really all the basic stuff. Just once I get that all locked down, I feel like I'm going to be really good this year.
Consistency.
Yeah.
All these guys, I think they all have potential to flash big-time playmaking ability. How consistently are you going to do it?
No doubt. One of the stars of camp, as we've talked about, Devon Hamilton through the first couple of weeks. It feels like the big man is back, but if the big man is back, that means that power is back, and he talked about it feeling good to have that part of his game back in his arsenal with Hayes.
It feels pretty good. Like I said, I've been doing well, but I still have so much to improve on. So I don't know. I'm just really excited to see where I'm going to head, where my potential is.
Look, every time we think about these guys or mention another player, I think, I'm going to change my list today. Which three guys? And we're cheating. We're going to give you three on each side of the ball. But the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day: which three players are you most looking forward to putting your eyes on this week for the Jags? One of them for me is probably Trayvon Walker, right? And Devon Hamilton told Hayes he feels like Trayvon right now is getting into the zone.
I just see a lot of confidence from him. I know Trayvon was a little bit younger last year, and he's still learning the game and whatnot, but now I just feel like he's getting in the zone. He's able to feel the offense, able to pass rush very well, able to read a lot of offense. So I think he's just improving every day.
And moving forward, as Trayvon told us, no more dropping back into coverage.
Excited about that.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt about that at all. One more here from Devon Hamilton as Hayes caught up with him earlier this week. He talked about going up against the lone addition on the starting offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mitch Morse, and what that's been like to this point in camp.
I feel like it's just iron sharpening iron. I give him a little pointers on how defensive tackles look at stuff, and he gives me a lot of pointers on how centers are trying to set and what they're trying to do, what are they trying to manipulate, It's just been very good for me. I always like learning from a vet that's played a lot of ball, so I can learn from him.
All right, look, that's another guy. That Morse-Sheriff combo, really, right now, with the left guard in flux at the moment because Ezra Cleveland's not going to play this weekend, Tony. Look, I hope Trevor Lawrence has a touchdown drive where he throws a touchdown to one of his primary guys. But also hope they have a short yardage opportunity somewhere along the way. Give me a 3rd and 1. Give me a 4th and 1. And let's load up and get behind Mitch Morse and find out if he truly retained those top-tier run-blocking abilities like he was noted for last year. And let's just get some pull. Wouldn't it be nice to have Travis Etienne on a 3rd and 1, go right up the A-gap and get 4? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Would it be nicer for it to be Etienne or Bigsby?
I don't care, really.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm guessing Etienne might get the first opportunity,
Probably.
whomever it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's more about kind of whole are you going to present these guys, you know, because I think they're both going to be capable of converting. All right, let's hear from Devin Duvernay also with Hayes. By the way, full interviews available all across the social platforms for 1010XL. Go to 1010XL.com in the on-demand section. YouTube, they're all over the place, right? So you can watch the players as they're being interviewed if you like to do that as well. And, you know, we believe, the NFL believes that the new kick return rules are going to result in more kickoffs, right? That's the goal. I don't know if you saw, there's some speculation that, because the NFL can change the rules at any point they want to, that they may change it to the 35. I think Sean Payton's pushing for that, right? That if the ball lands short or goes into the end zone, whatever the case, on the fly. I guess if it lands in the 20-yard zone and rolls in the end zone, you get it at, I think, the 20, right? As long as you're kicking it into the box.
Not sure what the...
It's not the 30 on that, but if you kick it in the end zone, it's going to be the 30. You know, some people want it to be the 35, but that's as an aside. How does Duvernay, all-pro return man, signing here with the Jags in the offseason, feel about maybe getting more kick return opportunities than he has in recent years?
Yeah, definitely a lot more opportunity, which I'm excited about. Be explosive, help the team, put points on the board or get good field position. It's kind of getting dried out over the years, but I'm excited it's back. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it works out. Definitely expecting good things.
Even without the kick return rule change, Tone, I feel like this team has realized the importance of prioritizing having one of these guys. I mean, how many times did Jamal Agnew flip the field for you in a big circumstance, and Duvernay right now coming off a season where he was deemed to be the best in the league at it. So let's go.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but at least potentially puts a little more juice in a play that had basically gone away.
Absolutely.
In the NFL. So we'll see what that's going to be. And Duvernay was asked about, look, as you mentioned, he's an all-pro return guy. He's been the best in the league at doing that job. At one time in his career, he was asked if he's talked to the other guys that do that job wherever they're at about what these new rules are going to do for them.
Not much. I don't really know many of them out there, but I heard some things guys said, and kind of what I said, man. Just excited about the opportunity to be explosive, to help the team get field position, score touchdowns. Because like I said, it was kind of touchback after touchback the past couple of years, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a good opportunity for a lot of guys, a lot of these good athletes back there who have opportunities to impact games.
So you hear about the tight end camps, they have the pass rush camps in the offseason. Apparently there's no kick returner camp yet.
Right. Doesn't sound like
where guys are getting together and sharing their thoughts on this. I'm curious, this is a question that you could easily answer with your finger to your lips, shh, not going to tell you anything. But Devin Duvernay was asked by Hayes, what the strategy will be with the new return rules.
As of now, what I've been kind of just looking for is just kind of hitting it vertical and trying to see, find a crease. Everything's kind of right in front of you. You're not running down from halfway down the field. So trying to make a quick move and, just hit it. Probably not going to be a lot of room for a lot of cuts, a lot of decision making. You kind of just got to make a decision and go with it.
That's a good answer. You could take that, when I see strategy in there, I'm thinking, what are the Jags going to try to do, formationally or whatever?
It feels like a Ricky Bobby moment. I want to go fast, right? It does just feel like that's kind of the strategy is I'm a really good athlete. I'm going to go as hard as I can and get vertical.
For right now, that's the plan.
Right, and see if everyone else can deal with my speed in that situation, right? It does feel like that's going to be the first card that anyone who has that kind of guy is going to play. Can they deal with my guy's speed? In this particular situation, because now it's more like a play than it ever has been. It's been a return for a long time. Now it's more of a play, so you can run some different games and stuff with it. We'll see what they want to do. Again, probably not going to really find out until Miami, if they do have any of those plans. One more here from Duvernay catching up with Hayes. He was asked if it just takes getting past that first wall in order to have the opportunity to break that big one.
100%. I feel like that's it. Get to probably just the kicker and then, make the most of it.
In terms of playing offense and things like that, how do you feel like that part of your game is coming along?
Oh, real well. I feel like I can help this team a lot, offensively. Just feel like I bring a skill set to the table that, not everyone has, just speed, running ability, catching. So, yeah, man, I'm excited for my role on offense, and special teams.
Yeah, you look at Agnew, he was 5'10", 190 is what he was listed at.
Mm-hmm.
Duvernay, while he is a real receiver, and I don't mean Agnew, he became a receiver. Duvernay's been a receiver coming up. He's built more like a running back. He's 5'10", 202.
Yeah.
He's a little bit thicker, which I think will play well with these new kickoff rules, at least we hope. So anyway, full interview available, again, across all the social platforms for 1010XL, YouTube, all that good stuff. Right, let's have Tony take us around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
Indianapolis wide receiver Josh Downs suffered a high ankle sprain during practice on Wednesday. The estimated recovery time is 4 to 6 weeks, which does have the possibility that he isn't ready for week 1 for the Colts. We'll see how long that injury keeps him sidelined. Tennessee linebacker Garrett Wallow suffered a torn pec. He will miss the entire 2024 season. New York Jets wide receiver Mike Williams has been activated off of their PUP list. I did see this morning as well. Robert Saleh holding Aaron Rodgers out of practice today because the weather's bad.
Weather.
Up there with the Jets.
I guess it's a wet field, right? And
I get
all
it.
right,
You're
it's
protecting
40,
your
the
guy.
Achilles, whatever.
He'll probably have to play in the rain at some point. Atlanta wide receiver Rondale Moore was taken off the field with an air cast on his right leg. I've not seen an update on whatever the injury is for Rondale Moore beyond when he got taken off the field yesterday. Baltimore cornerback Arthur Mallett will be getting a scope for a knee injury that will keep him sidelined to start the year, but is not expected to be a season-ending injury. Carolina has placed guard J.D. Dorenzen on IR. Dallas puts defensive end Sam Williams on IR. Cleveland put defensive end Cameron Sample on IR, and Las Vegas placed defensive tackle Tamari Fox on IR, ending all of their seasons before they begin.
All right, we're hopeful to get Mike DeRocco coming up here in a few minutes, and I think it may work out well because Trevor Lawrence already deep into his post-game or post-practice comments. A couple from John Shipley passing these along. Speaking about Travis Etienne, Lawrence said every year he's just gotten better and better. Thought he took a huge step last year. This year is even better. A lot of use of the word better in that sentence. And then Parker Washington has looked great, said Trevor Lawrence, from last year to this year. Such an improvement in how he's played. And I don't want to skip over him because he is certainly in the mix, right? But Duvernay absolutely automatically active on game day. Don't know if that's going to be the case with Parker Washington, and we'll see if they have plans for him in the return game as well, and how that plays out in this opening preseason game if he gets those opportunities as well. All right, we're hopeful to get D-Rock on the other side as practice wrapped up now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Day off tomorrow, so it's all systems go until they hit the field on Saturday versus Kansas City at 7 o'clock. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark here with you. Your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, asking which 3 players on the Jags are you most looking forward to watching on Saturday night against the Kansas City Chiefs? Hit us up with that on social media, and we'll give you our list of 3 on offense and 3 on defense we'll do before we wrap up today. D-Rock on the other side, I believe, and we'll continue along here. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors studios of 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update, brought to you by
USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Grainger. With supplies and solutions for every industry, Grainger has the right product for you. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. The U.S. women's volleyball team is playing for a chance at gold as it squares off against Brazil in the semifinals at this hour. Team USA and Brazil split the first 2 sets. It's a rematch of the gold medal final in Tokyo exactly 3 years ago today that the U.S. won 3-0. Later, the U.S. women's water polo team plays Australia in the semifinals, and the U.S. men's basketball team tips off against Serbia for a spot in the gold medal game. Earlier, the United States added to its Olympics leading medal tally when climber Sam Watson of Texas won bronze in the men's sport climbing speed final, setting a world record. Indonesia won the gold. Second round in women's golf, world number 1 Nelly Korda is 6 shots off the pace. With this Summer Games update, I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
This is the story of the One. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the DQ $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Not just a cheeseburger, a bacon cheeseburger, plus fries, drink, and a sundae. All full-sized, all for $7. Because everything's better with bacon. Everything's also better with a side of fries, a refreshing drink, and a sundae to finish. Yum. The $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal. Now for a limited time on the $7 meal deal lineup. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Florida is coming soon and now hiring for technicians, sales, and all positions. If you or someone you know are looking for a new opportunity, apply online at genesisnortheastjacksonville.com. Equal opportunity employer.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Jaguars fans, the 2024 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Kansas City Chiefs Saturday, August 10th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field. The Jaguars have won it! You won't want to miss a second of the action. Grab your tickets for the 7 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there.
Jaguars Today Thursday is hitched to Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Training camp is about the basics.
Focus on the fundamentals.
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Reach Plumbing.
Hey gang, Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, it is hot outside this time of the year. Many of us are staying inside or going to the pool. Well, my friends at Zero Res are also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs. But they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone and hardwood floors. And right now, the hottest price of the year, 25% off all hardwood cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res, man, spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Mortgage rates have plummeted, and Loan Pronto clients are locking in the lowest rates we've seen in years. Hey, it's Roger Moore, founder and CEO of Loan Pronto. It's happening. We are finally locking APRs in the 5s, something we haven't seen for a long time. If that sky-high rate is killing you or you need to get cash out of your home equity, now is the time to take action. Or listen, even if you want to keep that first mortgage rate intact, you can take advantage of lower rates with our Equity Express line of credit. We're seeing homeowners take 50, 75, 200 grand or more out of their equity and wiping out that high-interest debt with an average savings of $850 per month. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come way down, making this a great time to act. Call today for a 30-second rate quote. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Hun, there's something in the drain.
Water?
Very funny. The sink is clogged.
Again? I just pulled a bunch of hair out of it.
Well, I think we need to call in the pros.
Okay. Call these guys? Quack, quack.
Only if you mean Duck Duck Rooter.
Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf. I fish a lot. I hunt. I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain was more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL.
I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on D-Rock. Another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Just saying, right? And
the bar has been set, Mike.
Look, it's always high with D-Rock. There's no question about it. We're looking for 2 weeks from today. He's back in on a full-time basis with us on Thursdays. But before we get to D-Rock quickly, Dylan just informs us, oh, by the way, would you like to give away a pair of tickets to the Jags-Chiefs game?
Oh.
Why don't we? Why don't we make it caller for one for every letter in ESPN? I think that's appropriate right there. 641-1010. Good morning, D-Rock. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing okay, man. Anything to see? It seemed like it was going to be kind of a wind down the week practice with the game a couple of days away. Anything stand out to you today?
No. I mean, they were in spiders. So it was a very, very light workout. And I think Doug ended it about 30 minutes early. So it was just sort of a, like you said, wind down, not a whole lot of competitiveness, not a whole lot of juice energy there. It was sort of like almost a walkthrough feel. So, there's some good throws, good catches, but, there wasn't a whole lot of competition going on.
Yeah, and for the folks who don't know, the spiders are just like those mini shoulder pads that they have.
Yeah, it's like essentially a foam shoulder pad. Yeah,
right.
And shorts, not full pads. So it was a take it easy day on them by Doug Peterson.
D-Rock, any problem with sending Trevor out there for however long they want to send him out there on Saturday night with 2 of the starting 5 offensive linemen not available? And there he goes.
Oh yeah, you could hear that. That was a clear. I'm thinking that's a Dylan Denmark.
I didn't know that
issue.
question would upset him so badly.
I'm pretty sure that's a Dylan Denmark issue. There, as he's trying to answer phone calls, and D-Rock is telling us his insights and all that stuff. We'll get him right back here, but got to find out who he's looking forward to seeing this weekend. But on top of that, what do you make of the Press Taylor moving to the sideline thing?
Yeah.
Is this like it's obviously telling you the way we did it last year isn't. We think there's a better way to do it, right? So they're acknowledging in doing this that there's something they need to
Changing
improve
something needs to be done,
yes.
Which makes some sense.
All right, as we continue to stall for D-Rock, and then if you're patient, I don't know who caller number 4 is based on this board right now. Dylan will get you squared away, we think, at some point in time. Are we?
It's going straight to voicemail.
Straight to voicemail. All right, maybe you just gave up on us. I don't know. That's possible as well. Maybe D-Rock will be caller number 4. All right, give him a shot, and we'll see what happens there. And we'll hopefully get him back here in a couple of minutes, Tone. But, I do think that is one aspect of this Press Taylor thing, that it is a tacit acknowledgement that, if we love the way we did it last year, you'd leave it the way you did it last year.
Yeah.
So this is an effort to make things better. I don't know what Doug Peterson's going to be looking for over the next 3 weeks. Is it just overall offensive efficiency, or what? Is it first team offense and how they're playing as far as that goes? But, we got basically 3 weeks to figure out if you need to take the final step, which is the head coach wresting control away.
And as we've said, I think likely it's going to wind up with Press being the guy who's calling plays against Miami.
Me too.
I think that's what it's going to be. And that leaves room for, if a change needs to be made, they can change to Doug being the guy who takes over that job, right? Like, it leaves space for that. You're less likely to, Doug is the play caller, let me hand it over to Press now, because it's not going so well early on. Like, that doesn't seem to be the direction they could go if they needed to change something at that position, but they can go the opposite way. Press is doing it. Doug wants to take over if he needs to at some point. Who knows if he would or wouldn't? I don't know what the answer to that would be.
Man, how good would it be for the first team offense to come out and put up a couple of scores, right? I mean, like we talked about it with John Ogier. What if Trevor Lawrence hits Brian Thomas with a deep touchdown in the first play? Have you seen enough? No. I think they want to get a certain amount of reps in there, but let's get a quick strike touchdown. Put it this way. Score on however many plays. If they come out for a second one, if you can put scores up, even if it's a field goal, on one of those, touchdown, field goal, 10 points, you're going to feel pretty damn good about where things stand right now.
Yeah, you would think the idea is we'd like to get them somewhere in that 7 to 10 play, 10 rep neighborhood, right? And if that means the opening drive is 3 plays and they score, okay, we send them out for another drive, right? Because we want to see the 7 or 8 plays, whatever it is, and then we're done. After whatever that second series is, even if it's a 3 and out, okay, we only got 6, bummer, we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. We'll see you against Tampa, midweek for the Jaguars. I imagine that's the way that would go if they were able to get a quick score on whatever their first possession happens to be.
Yeah, look, we're going to feel one way or the other. And even if they go down and they slice up Kansas City, it doesn't mean that's going to necessarily carry over into the regular season. But I'd rather build off of that than the alternative. Dylan, we get caller number 4 squared away. Did somebody win a pair of tickets?
We did, Mr. Eric.
All right, just checking.
Yeah, and D-Rock texted me something about his phone service.
That's all good.
So,
that's we'll talk to him in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
We'll get him back in 2 weeks. He won't be in next week because they're doing the joint practice on that day with the Tampa Bay Bucks, which, again, is probably going to be more telling. Not everybody can make it out there. It's a pretty sparse kind of crowd today. And it's been, honestly, really good turnout. Practically every single practice, from the public able to go. Today, you had the sense, if you're following along, this was not going to be a heavy go-all-out kind of situation.
Sure. And it, D-Rock talked about it. It felt more like a walkthrough that they would typically have on a Friday when they're playing on a Sunday. They had a walkthrough on a Thursday. They're playing on a Saturday. Like, it does make sense from that perspective. Day off tomorrow for them. And then they'll be ready to go Saturday night.
And they've been in pads a little bit more than I expected to after the first, practice that way. They've been in pads, full pads, more often than not since that point in time. I don't know if you saw McManus's video that he put out yesterday. Oh. And Tom's have been very critical in the past about how they don't prepare these guys for the season. There's not enough physicality. There's not enough hitting. And he thinks, and this has got to be a big influence of Ryan Nielsen here, just the way practice is conducted, the way that defensive mindset has changed more into an attacking mode instead of at times a passive mode, it seemed like. But Tom's raving about the level of physical play that he's seen on both sides of the ball. And if he's saying that, I feel pretty good because, again, I'm not out there for a lot of the team stuff later on in practice. And I know Tom's been one of the biggest critics of the way they've done it in the past.
Sure. And it's something that Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke were willing to point out early on in the offseason process. Once the 2023 season ended, they pretty much went to the microphones that week after and asked about and it's like, we need to be more physical. Mm-hmm. We got to get stronger. We got to get more physical. We can't have what happened to us at the end of this season happen to us. We have to be better in these areas. Well, one way to do that is to train like this is serious. We want to be better in these areas. Well, train to be better in these areas. And the way that they've handled this training camp is a little bit different than it has been the first couple of years. And it does feel like it's putting the emphasis on we want to be more physical, more prepared physically than we have been the last couple of years. Well, they've put in the work to at least put in the effort to be a more physical football team than they have been the last couple of years.
No doubt. All right, let's come back, Tone, and I think this will be fun. Let's see how our lists compare. 3 players on offense, 3 players on defense. Let's assume we all want to see on special teams. We want to see Cam Little kick well. We want to see how the return game operates. We're not going to see all the wrinkles, but so beyond that, we'll not give them any more spotlight. We'll go offense, defense when we come back, 3 on each side, and we'll take a look at some of your responses. Who are the 3 players you're most looking forward to seeing perform for the Jaguars versus Kansas City this weekend? By the way, if you didn't win those tickets, and if your name's not Eric, chances are you didn't. There are more tickets that are going to be given away throughout the day, today and tomorrow here on 1010XL. So keep it locked in on your flagship home for Jaguar football. We'll be back with the final segment of Jaguars Today straight ahead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Talked to you yesterday about just how the little things in life are so much easier when you're at a good weight, when you feel good about yourself, just physically, mentally as well. You look in the mirror, you're like, hey, I don't look like that person who's carrying an extra person around. And sometimes when you're heavy, man, you don't even want to look in the mirror. Trust me, I've been there, but Awaken 180 has so far been a godsend for me. They promised they'd help me lose the weight, lose it in rapid fashion. That I suspected they'd be able to do, but they promised I'd be able to keep it off for the long term. And since the end of last September, haven't gained a single pound. Matt Hayes is a testament to it. Hacker's a testament to it. So many people locally have tried Awaken 180, and everyone I know personally who has tried it has had tremendous success. The pounds are going to fall off. You're going to eat to lose weight. It's not a starvation diet type situation. It can be for you. It's for everybody. 844-346-1800 will get you on board with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, or go online and schedule a free consultation at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees, and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
They say to make yourself indispensable at work, so I developed a digital catering solution that only I can operate. Okay, it's actually easycater.com.
David!
They love me, because I, the director of catering logistics, not a real job, use easycater to get catering from all our favorite restaurants. Tight budget? No problem. Need vegetarian options? Gluten-free? Check and check.
D-Man, you crushed lunch today.
It was easy. easycater.
easycater is your all-in-one tech platform for ordering food for work. Start your order at easycater.com.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. I know that hearing another ad for Jacksonville's best promo company interrupts Jacksonville's best sports talk, but at least it isn't a political ad. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who has the most victories in the Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
He's a professor of quarterback play, and class is in session.
We want to take you into the lab so you can learn more about the science of quarterback.
Denny Thompson, Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, when a customer goes to buy a diamond, how do they know what they are getting?
Frank, that's a good question because what they know comes from the assurances given by the seller, and they can only judge based on the knowledge and reputation of the selling store. Now, over the last 25 years, I've seen some customers misled, and unfortunately, Underwoods was the bearer of bad news too many times. In the 1980s, we saw diamonds brought in with exaggerated grades and no laboratory grading reports. Then in the 90s, we saw some of the poorest cut diamonds ever, even though they had laboratory reports on weight, color, and clarity. Then the American Gem Society opened a laboratory and started grading diamonds for cut, and poorly cut diamonds got priced for what they were. Now we see diamonds from the internet and other places where diamonds are bought sight unseen with a lab report and a bogus appraisal. Unfortunately, not all those diamonds match the reports they're sold with, but how would a customer know? Probably today more than ever, the truest statement is, if you don't know diamonds, you better know a jeweler you can trust.
Are you a meat lover searching for quality cuts? Southern Steer Butcher uses a vacuum tumbler to marinate and tenderize our chicken and world-famous steak tips.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
It's almost time for the Jags' first preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Head coach Doug Peterson met with media this morning and discussed what he's looking to see when they take on the Chiefs this Saturday.
With the first group going against another first group, you want to see execution. Very, very few mistakes, MAs, because you're running your training camp plays, and so things can be some. And again, you're not game planning anybody, so just going out and doing your job.
Listen to the game live on 1010XL with coverage starting at 2 and kickoff at 7. JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Chiefs this Sunday. Let them do the driving. With multiple locations around town and passes starting at $10 on the MyJTA app. To learn more, visit jtafla.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, Tony, well, first off, Nelly Corda had the cool down on par 3, 17th, I think it was, at the Olympic Golf Ladies tournament. Quadruple bogey 7. Ouch.
Yikes.
It's 2 off the lead. Now she's 6 back heading into round 3 tomorrow. Anyway, USA. All right, let's get to it. Today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day as we look at the overall picture, kind of bringing it into the garage here at the end of the hour, is what are the players that we're most looking forward to seeing perform this weekend, Tone? So why don't we go one at a time on either side of the ball? Start with offense. Who you got?
Offense, I'll lead it off with Tank Bigsby.
Okay. And tell me why.
Tank Bigsby, because I was not one of the guys who was all in on this whole thing last year. I really wasn't. As we've talked about, I was all in on get ATN as many touches as they possibly can. For the second year in a row, Tank has had a really impressive camp. He's been one of the guys that's been talked about throughout training camp. Let's see if that translates to the field, at least beginning in training camp for Tank Bigsby. And given the nature of preseason football, he ought to have plenty of opportunities on Saturday. We'll see how much they want to use the different guys, but Keelan's not going to be out there. So even you don't want to expose ETN too much. One of the guys isn't even going to be available. So a lot of touches I would expect for Tank Bigsby this week. And I would really like for him to impress me because I've never been impressed with Tank Bigsby to this point in his Jaguars career. I would like for this Saturday night to be the first time.
Yeah, and they do have a number of options. Even with Keelan Robinson not playing, they're going to get Jalen Jackson some carries,
Absolutely.
You would think.
And I thought about including him on my list.
Yeah, he's a little
the way he's being talked
I haven't really seen him much because he's so far down. It's like you get deeper into practice, he starts getting some reps, so it's been more word of mouth with him. Look, my list has got to start with number 16, and Trevor Lawrence. This is everything else to some degree is window dressing. Like, I'm not saying it's not important. You can have a great defense. You can win games occasionally. You can even have those special seasons where you ride your defense. But in today's NFL, man, you got to ride your quarterback, particularly if you feel like that guy is worth building the franchise around, which obviously they do with the investment they put in there. It's no excuses time for Trevor. Not that he's making excuses. It's just you got to go out and perform now. It's going to be a limited sample, but I want to see him look sharp, right? I don't want to see him throwing the ball behind guys. I don't want to see tip balls at the line. I want to see good decision-making both in the pocket and in the red zone. I want to see the Jags have a little downfield strike capability. I'm not saying they have to throw a deep ball and successfully complete it for me to say that Trevor Lawrence had a good performance. Just be efficient, be in command, be accurate, and hopefully lead this team to at least one scoring drive in the time he's on the field.
Sure, I would add first-round pick Brian Thomas Jr. along those lines, right? Like, I'm not sure how much time he's going to get on the field this week. I would expect it would be a little bit more than just whatever the starters are getting, right? Because he is a rookie, and they want to get him a little bit more exposure to just time on field, even if it'll be trying to run routes for and catching passes from a quarterback that's not going to be the starter when we get into the season. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brian is kept up there a little bit later than Christian Kirk, right? It's going to play in this game on Saturday night, and I would like to walk away with at least one play going, there it is. That's the kind of thing I want to see from Brian.
25-yard completion, right? Something like that. And honestly, I think you're probably right because he's on my list as well, right? So I'll just pick up where you left off. I think you're probably right that there's certainly he has a better chance to play extended reps than the very, very frontline guys. But at the same time, if you come out there and maybe he gets 2 targets, let's say Trevor Lawrence gets 10 snaps and Brian Thomas Jr. gets 2 targets and 2 completions to him, that may be enough as well. You don't want to overload him. You can still – he's a guy that – even though you're not going to play your, quote, starters in week 2, if you feel like he needs more reps as a rookie, you can go that route.
I mean, I can still remember when we got to see Justin Blackmon in a preseason game for the first time, and just watching him play was like, oh, my gosh, what did they get here, right? Like the first time you saw him on the field, you had that feeling watching Justin Blackmon. It turned into what it turned into for Blackmon here in town, but it would be nice to have something approaching that kind of moment with Brian Thomas Jr. on Saturday.
A little buzzworthy, right? My third guy, alluded to him earlier, Mitch Morse, man. I hope they get a short yardage opportunity, right? And beyond that, just does the overall protection look better? This is a guy that, you're talking about going from Luke Fortner, who was a second-year player. It's tough to be the leader of a unit when you're that young, particularly if you're not the best guy on the line or one of the best guys on the line.
Sure.
In his case, I feel most people think clearly the fifth best guy on the line in the totality last year. Mitch Morse could arguably be the best offensive lineman they have when you compare him to other players at his position around the National Football League. And I want to see that show up. I want to see, you mentioned Bigsby, ETN, somebody in the A gap on the right side between Morse and Sheriff, get a 3rd and 1 conversion and get it with ease. That's what I'm looking for.
My third guy would be Javon Foster. I'm curious to see what it looks like for him just going up against NFL athletes, right? In a live game situation, the reports out of camp are that he's been fine, but he's not the biggest guy. So how is he going to deal with an opponent that's actually trying to kind of hurt you, right? And that's what Saturday night will be. It'll be a bunch of young. I don't expect him to be out there when the starters for the Chiefs are on the field, but these are still NFL players that he's going to be tested up against for the first time. I'm curious how much time he's on the field, right? Because I would assume he would be the first right tackle that comes on when they take Walker Little off.
I think he might get a lot of playing time.
Right, so he might get 3 quarters, on Saturday night or something close to that, at least a half. I would guess that Foster's going to get.
I'd be surprised if he gets the full 3 quarters. You probably don't want to, overwork him as well. Although, these guys play football for a living. But, it's just, it's not that he's small. He's 313. He's 6'5", 313. He's wonderful NFL tackle size. He just looked a little bit narrow in the shoulder, so I would like to see that as well, particularly from a power standpoint, how he holds up. All right, defensively, I'll give you my first guy on the list, Trayvon Walker. And, look, I get it. We know he's going to be a starter. He had a semi-breakout season last year, but people have been raving about how he is going to perform based on what they've seen from him in practice, but how they feel he fits in this Ryan Nielsen defensive front. And, are only going to see him as well for maybe a series or 2 at the most, but can he get a pressure? Can he get his hands on Patrick Mahomes? Does he look like he's winning his reps when he gets those one-on-one opportunities? And how big of a jump is he going to make? A lot of guys make the biggest jump from year 1 to year 2. He's still young enough, man. He's got a big jump or 2 left in him, I believe.
Yeah. I have heard enough from this guy in training camp to this point that I would expect, kind of like the Brian Thomas Jr. thing. I just want to come away from the game thinking about that's the one play that stands out to me is this makes me feel good about the player going into this whole thing. Mason Smith. Like, all the reports on him have been so good to this point in camp. I would like one moment where I don't even necessarily need him to get a sack or anything like that. Just one moment where there's a play where you're like, there it is. Right, whether it's a pressure or a stop or whatever it happens to be, I would like to see that because especially with a guy who's dealing with the career trajectory he had coming in, I don't know how much they're going to expose him necessarily this week on Saturday night, so I do expect his opportunities to be pretty limited on Saturday night against the Chiefs, but I would like to have one play where I can point to it and say, yeah, he definitely won in that situation. So Mason's the first guy that came to mind.
He was originally on my list, but since I had 5 guys on defense, I'll leave him off, right, and talk about somebody else. How about Antonio Johnson?
Sure.
What is his role, right? Especially with Savage out, and that's the whole nickel situation. I think I would expect Antonio Johnson to be starting out there this weekend, and hopefully that's the case next to Andre Sisco or across from Andre Sisco back there, but does he look like a guy who's comfortable? Patrick Mahomes is a lot of stress on any secondary. How are they using him? Are they using him up close to the line of scrimmage? Is he kind of interchangeable with Sisco? Does he look like, he has kind of that swagger of a guy who belongs as a starter? The initial depth chart is kind of mentally crumpled up in my head and thrown out the window. So I want to see what they have, what kind of plans they have in store for Antonio Johnson, as much as we'll be able to tell in the limited amount of time he's likely to play.
A top 5 list we did a while ago, I had this guy at number 5 among the offseason acquisitions that the team had between the draft and free agency. I had Jarian Jones at 5 because of the impact that I thought that he could potentially have and how good he was the last couple of years at Florida State. I would expect that they would play him outside and inside a little bit on Saturday night just to play him a little bit and get his legs underneath him from an NFL perspective. And I'm curious to see how well he holds up in that kind of situation for what I expect to be a pretty stiff test for the rookie on Saturday night, despite the fact that they got a bunch of different bodies that they want to throw out there in the secondary.
Look, Xavier Worthy is reportedly having a pretty good camp. You got Hollywood Brown there, who's another guy with great speed. Rashee Rice kind of became, other than Travis Kelce, their target leader last year.
Yeah.
And all these guys, it's a better wide receiver core than they had last year, to be sure. They'll put more stress on you that way. Last guy for me, officially, I'll put Devin Lloyd here, okay? Is he playing middle? Is he playing weak side? Will we be able to tell the difference if they're playing like a lot of 4-2-5 out there? And, this whole Muma or Devin Lloyd kind of thing, is it clear that Devin Lloyd is well ahead of Chad Muma? Everybody that I talk to who watches all these full practices says, in their opinion, yes, that's the case. But they're not going to show you the full bag. Everyone's waiting. Oh, is Devin Lloyd going to be the pass rush guy, the surprise pass rush guy? Even if he is, I don't think you're going to get a taste of that on Saturday. I just want to see, how does he do picking up receivers that come across the middle that he is responsibility for? That's an area he's struggled with at times. Is he playing downhill? Is he playing free? Does he look like a guy who's ready to take a big leap now in his third year? So Devin Lloyd be number 3 for me.
Yeah, I mentioned Mason Smith and Brian Thomas Jr. as guys that I want to see something from, but I expect to. The last guy I'll mention is Yasir Abdullah, and that's the show me something. Right.
Big time.
Going into year 2, not a guy who's been a lot of the talk out there at camp to this point. I don't think he's solidly in that race for the 3rd, 4th edge kind of guy for this football team. So I'd love to see him make a play, but where do they play him and how much he has improved going from year 1 to year 2 for Yasir Abdullah, who I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a ton on Saturday night, right? So he'll have plenty of opportunities. Let's see him make some plays.
Right. Hopefully we'll notice him if he does play time. Devon Hamilton would have been my bonus guy, just because every report has been dominance out there. All right, Dylan, let's put a bow on it.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
I was waiting for one of the helmets and heels ladies to walk in after. Oh, it's Thursday, isn't it? XL Primetime. Joe C. in the
Who
house.
are you guys?
Who are we? We don't see you as much anymore. How are things?
Things are good. Things are good. Coming back from practice, as you guys were talking about, glorified walkthrough, but there's still action. There's still a lot of jobs that are up for grabs. There's still guys trying to make plays. Seth Williams, who I talked to, caught a touchdown today. Those types of things matter to coaches. They count. You're just trying to see who can assert themselves at the right time.
I feel like Seth Williams, and again, I'm not out there for every minute of every practice, but I've been out there when I can be.
Right.
And I just feel like his best hope is practice squad this year, right? It's such a competitive group in that 5, 6, 7 range of who are those receivers going to be.
Yeah, I guess the only thing and I agree with you, but the only thing I would say, he's hardly been in any game action, so he is a practice squad guy. He would love to be able to make a full roster at some point, but he's been in the league since 21, and he was a 6th-round pick back then, and if you go back and you think about it, Jacob Harris, Elijah Cooks, and Seth were all battling. None of them made the squad. Elijah was the guy that was brought in late to have the opportunity. And at the very least, Jacob Harris is not part of the equation. And now it's Seth and Elijah.
Right, but now you've got, with Davis and Thomas and Duvernay and Washington along with Kirk, that's 5 right there.
Yeah.
7 at the most, right? Cephas has been getting the buzz. Cook's been getting the buzz. Tim Jones always makes this roster. Don't know if that'll be the case this year, but
and
I
might even go Seth versus Tim, special teams, as much as anything, and that would be the 7th wide receiver, because Duvernay's making this.
Oh, absolutely.
As a specialist, like if you're breaking down your roster, you could go 6 wide receivers with the guys you just named.
I think Duvernay's your 4th receiver right now.
Yes.
I mean, he's much more accomplished as a receiver than Jamal Agnew was when he got here.
And Parker.
Absolutely. Yeah, all those guys. All right,
totally
so what do you guys have coming up today?
So we'll do that. Definitely some good stuff. Billy Donovan was at Florida Gators practice, getting them all fired up. So we'll talk about FSU, Florida, but then, of course, focusing on the Chiefs and Saturday night. And Trevor did say, hey, I'm not wearing a red jersey Saturday night, so I'm fired up and ready to go.
All right. Hopefully his offensive linemen get that message, okay? I think they will. I think they know,
well, heck, no Ezra, so you got a bunch of other guys.
No Ezra, no Anton.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 2/5 of that offensive line. I'm not too worried about right tackle We'll see what they opt to do at guard. But as Tony and I talked about, there are ways you can, the kind of plays you call, you can protect your quarterback a little bit that way in the preseason as well. All right, Joey, have a great show. Coming up, XL Primetime, Joe C., Big Sirs, Matt Hayes coming your way. Then the Frangie Show, and then that 2-hour block of Jaguars programming you can inject straight into your veins. And on we go here on 1010XL. Tommy Mack will join us tomorrow in studio for the brief appearance of Mike DeRocco. We appreciate him stopping by. Yeah. And for Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. This has been Jaguars Today. We'll talk to you tomorrow on 1010XL 92.5 FM.